Good morning. It's a beautiful morning. Yeah. Okay, so I don't think I need to tell anybody that hip stiffness is quietly becoming a common complaint. We sit a lot more thanks to our devices. I'm not sure if we accomplish a lot more, but, and getting out of cars, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, even 10 to 15 minutes a day, and the weekend quickie is going to be about hips. But even 10 to 15 minutes a day, I love that somebody just straightened their spine as they're sitting up. It's a good practice. Hips will play into whether or not we are able to sit up nice and straight. Now, lifting your hips and sitting on a cushion or a firm chair if you're at home is always helpful to help your hips kind of release, because they internally rotate, they externally rotate, they abduct, and they adduct. So adduct, abduct, and they do a lot. And the great thing about yoga, of course, is that it offers plenty of poses to increase the strength, because that's important, to stretch them and achieve a fuller range of emotion. Now, I really want to remind everybody, you want to find the ooh and not the ow. So, in fact, in this session, we've been talking a lot about yin and how it just takes time. Everything takes time, let's face it, to change a pattern to help the body release. So we're going to start sitting up, and as I say, a cushion would be a good idea. Do you have one, Maggie? Just sit up as tall as you can, cross-legged. Ideally, just a reminder that you want your knees really to be either in line with that hip bone or lower, so that you can honor your lower back, your lumbar, because we're going to be talking about a couple of muscles that attach to this area. So if we don't take care of the lumbar area, we get into issues like sciatica and just stiff, tight, uncomfortable hips. So close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths in. Of course, exhaling and letting go. Notice your shoulders. Are you holding them, or are they dropped and relaxed? With your eyes closed, it's easier to go in and check on your jaw. We hold a lot of tension in our jaws, our necks. Try to align the hole in your ears with the center of your shoulders, and just relax your hands on your lap. You can be turned up or down, doesn't matter. And then follow your breath. Be here now. As Ram Dass said years and years ago, he would be considered a hippie for sure. Be here now. There is nowhere else you can be other than right here, right now. We can imagine the future, we can live in the past, but then we miss the present, the gift of this moment. And we're going to begin with three-part breathing. Now, three-part breathing saturates your blood with oxygen. It also strengthens your diaphragmatic. This is your major respiratory muscle. But we don't have to, really force it or anything. What I want you to do is be aware. So some of you may want to place perhaps your right hand on your belly and your left hand on your chest. And this is just for you to know that you are breathing in three parts. So on an inhale, through your nose, your belly, diaphragm, and chest are all expanding. And on an exhale, the chest and the diaphragm and the belly, they all contract. And I'm going to count. So we're going to inhale to 3. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Pause. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And if you've got the drift, you can lower your hands if you like. We're going to continue. 3, 1, 2, and 3. Exhaling 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I want to remind you, if you pause at the bottom of your exhalation, notice the cessation of thinking. No thoughts. If your thoughts are driving you mad, you find you're thinking the same thing over and over, it's counterproductive, it's not helping you. Just practice this 3-part breathing. As I've said, the breath is half tranquilizer and half energizer. You will pick the sort of pranayama breathing technique that can help you navigate, negotiate whatever's coming up for you, so that you're not putting more stuff, issues, if you will, into your tissues. There will always be issues. There will always be problems and challenges. But yoga is giving you tools. Use them. The more you practice them, the better you'll be able to access that tool exactly when you need it. And then you can open your eyes or keep them closed. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. You're going to exhale the right arm down, and you're going to try to lower the forearm towards the floor as you reach with the other arm, sideways bending. And then inhale, reaching both arms up. Exhale, the opposite hand down, bend at the elbow, reaching sideways. Exhaling, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, plant your hand on the floor, bend at the elbow, reaching over. And inhale, sweeping up. And exhale, plant your hand, bend at the elbow, reaching up and over. One more time, sweep the arms up in an inhale. Exhale, lower your hand, reaching over. And last time, inhale, exhale, opposite hand, bend at the elbow, reaching up and over, and release. Move your cushion off to the side. It's 11:11. That's a gateway, guys. If you want to set an intention right now, go for it. Some of you may or may not know the 11:11. Just set an intention. Maybe to be more mindful, maybe to be more patient. I don't know. You decide. Okay, coming into cat-cow, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Be sure you're pressing all of your fingertips into the floor so you're not dumping into your wrists. We're protecting them. And when you really press your arms, you're going to feel, in fact, feel the underside of your arm. You're going to feel your tricep activated. We call that for women a bat wing. I don't know what we call it for men, but anyway, blah, blah. Okay, on an exhale, round your spine, pull your bellies in, tuck your chin, drop your tail, and then curl your toes under as you hollow out your lower back. Draw your heart center forward, shoulders move back, and neck and head up. Exhale, flatten the tops of your feet. Keep pressing all 10 fingers into the mat. Inhale, curl your toes under, giving your plantar fascia a bit of a stretch, hollowing out lower back. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, hollow out your lower back. And last time, flatten the tops of your feet, rounding your spine. Exhale, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back, open up your chest, and come back to neutral. Take your knees as wide as your mat. If you can, bend your knees 90 degrees. You're taking your hips back. If not, you're going to leave your bum up in the air and come into puppy pose. And most of us will be able, hopefully, to assume child's pose. Reach your arms straight out in front, keeping a slight bend in the elbow. Breathing into your side and back ribs. 70% of the breathing takes place by moving the back ribs, stretching the diaphragm, and then we're going to do thread the needle, but we're going to do it from this position. So you're just going to take your right arm under your left. So you're staying in child's pose, right arm under left. And bring that arm back in front. And now take the other arm underneath. You might be able to lower the side of your head to the floor. To all fours, gently warming up the hips. We're going to take our left leg out to the side. Your foot is flat on the floor. And you're just going to gently go backwards and forward. So gently moving that big leg bone, the femur, back and forth, warming up hip flexors. Coming back to neutral, bring that foot that's out to the side, left foot, in front, placing your hands on either side of that bent leg. You're going to lift the arm, the same arm that's on the left leg, the bent leg side, reaching up, stretching up. You're going to feel this in your hips. So this is a great stretch. The gluteus medius, which is one of your 3 glute muscles, is where your piriformis goes under, and then bring that arm down and bring the knee back. When that muscle's tight, take the other leg out to the side, foot flat on the floor. And again, you're going to go forwards and backwards. So when your piriformis is tight, presses on the sciatica. The sciatic nerve, one of the reasons it causes so much pain, it's the biggest nerve in your body. There's two of them, one on either side. And it's about the size of your thickness, width of your baby fingers. So that's a big honking nerve. And by stretching our glutes, which we'll be doing today, we take the pressure off, and hopefully we're being preventative. But if we have these issues, this is also key to relieving the tension, tightness, and pain. And then bring the leg that was out to the side, again, in front. So that should be your right leg, but if it's the other leg, that's okay. Same arm as the leg in front. You're going to take that arm, sweep it up. Again, try not to dump all your weight into the hand that's on the mat. Reaching up and stretching up. So you may notice a difference in your hips, feeling it a little more on one than the other. Pretty normal. And then bring that hand down. Curl the back toes under, and let's come into a plank or push-up position. If this is too much for your wrists or your shoulders, you're going to bring your knees to the mat and cross at the ankles. And then walk your feet slightly forward, bend your knees. We're going to walk the dog. So you align your ears with your inner arms and press one heel towards the floor, keeping the other leg bent. Try to relax your neck. Let your head hang off it. Breathe into the back of the leg that's straight, the muscles that are being stretched, calf muscles, Achilles tendon. Really important for those of us who play racket sports. And change. And one more time, changing. And switching to the other side. And then walk your hands back towards your feet and just let your upper body hang out for a moment. Make a slight bend in your knees, stretching out your lumbar, your lower back, that area that if we don't acknowledge that curve inwards, we put unequal pressure on the discs that are between each of the vertebrae. And if it's really bad, we herniate the disc. That means we squeeze it out, and then we're in big trouble because we got bone on bone. Okay, let's slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Let your head be the last thing to come up. And by the way, just as a reminder, orange is the color of our second chakra, our hips. So that's why I wore what I wore today, just to remind us. Eat your oranges, your carrots, your orange peppers. Okay, so bring your feet close to one another, maybe just an inch or two apart. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. And if it gets too hot in here, which it might be, we have our temperature girl, our weather girl. You okay? Okay, thanks. Inhale, stretching up. And we're going to lean over to the left, sideways. Keep the length. Don't worry about how far over you go. You're stretching. Stretching through the top of your hip. Breathing. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale. Other side. Keep the length. Breathe. Stretch your arms as much as you can with your fingers interlocked and your pointer fingers released. Inhale one more time, straight up. Axial extension, lifting out of your waist. Exhale, sideways. Inhale, exhale, up. Last time, other side. Stretching. Doesn't matter how far you go. This is really just about lengthening, creating space. And now let your head drop back. And bring your arms beside it. So you're stretching the front of your spine, opening up your chest. And then release your hands. Exhale, reaching forward as you fold. Let your head hang. Come halfway up, place your hands on your shins, lengthen your spine. Shoulders away from your ears. So you're actually drawing your heart forward. Exhale, slide your hands down your shins, and then bend your knees. Transfer your weight into your heels, and let's come into Utkatasana, chair pose. So now we are strengthening. So one thing we need to do besides stretch is strengthen the muscles that protect the hips. The movements we make produce the synovial fluid that give your hips liquid mobility, if you will. Exhale, forward fold. Let your head hang. Inhale, come halfway up once again. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees. Let's do one more chair. Inhale, sweeping up. Now, sitting back in the chair as much as you can. And breathe. Very powerful to strengthen, obviously, your legs. But we are focusing on our hips. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees, let your head hang. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands in prayer. And release. Take a sip of water if you need. And we are okay with heat, or is it getting pretty hot in here? I think so too. Philip, if you need to crack the door a little bit, hopefully it'll cool off. Okay, so there might be something there to crack the door open with. All righty, sun salutations. Come on up to the fronts of your mats. And then if it gets too cool, let them know. More women in here than men. Okay. Yeah, we'll just cool it off a bit. All right. So coming up to the fronts of your mats, please. I can feel it already. We'll just let it move through, and then we might have to close it. Inhaling in place. Exhale. I greet this day with a smile. Inhale, reaching up. I have 24 brand new hours. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. I vow to live fully. Please let your heads hang. Feel the stretch in the backs of your legs. Step your left leg back. Inhale, sweep the arms up. You can keep your knee on the floor if you like, or you can bring your knee off the floor and press through your heel, lower your shoulders. Hands are active. Press through that back heel. That is the anchor of this posture, not your front leg, it's your back leg. In fact, for all standing poses, pretty much, your back leg will be your anchor. Focus your energy and strength there. This is also stretching your hip flexors, which the piriformis muscle is involved in. Turn your hands forward, bring them down to the floor, coming into your version of plank. I am fully present in this moment. Pressing all 10 fingers into the mat, drop your knees if you need to. Please pull your bellies in, developing upper body and core strength. There's nothing much better than this posture. Wrists are under elbows, elbows under shoulders, pressing through the heels. Release your knees to the floor, flatten the tops of your feet, and take your hips back. Leaving your hands where they are, drop your forearms and slowly come forward. Chest, chin, knees, elbows, feet on the mat. Humility is an important virtue for my growth. And then slide your body back. If you're at a runway, please come forward. Forehead on the mat, fingertips aligned with your shoulders, elbows into your side body. Roll an invisible alley and lift your head, neck, shoulders, and chest off the mat. Opening our hearts. And drop everything down. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips up. Walk your feet a bit forward. Bend your knees. Press your belly onto your thighs. Chest towards knees. Align your ears with your arms. And now press your heels towards the floor and your sits bones towards the back of your mat. I give thanks to Mother Earth. Breathing in earth telluric energy. Downward dog is an energizing posture. Lift your left leg up, tilt it over to the right side. And then bring it back behind you. Look at your left hand. Swing that foot as far forward as you can. Other leg forward and hanging out here in standing forward bend. Grateful for all our blessings. Bring your arms beside your ears, engage your thighs, pull your bellies in, sweep the arms up, reaching up and arcing back. I am in awe of nature. Inhale, bring your feet back together. Exhale, forward fold. I will try to say one kind thing to myself, a friend, or a stranger today. Bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And I will move mindfully. There's ice on those sidewalks, kids. I bleed every time somebody tells me they fell. Okay, let's do this one more time. Inhaling in place, exhale, hands in prayer. I greet this day with a smile. Take your feet apart, reaching up, looking up, arcing back. I will find a kind word for myself, for a friend or a stranger today. Inhale, bring your feet back together. Lift up out of your waist. Exhale, forward, fold. I vow to live fully. Let your heads hang. Feel the stretch in the backs of your legs and the release in the lumbar spine. Step your right foot back. You can drop the knee to the mat. You can stay here with your hands on your front thigh or focus your gaze, lift, sweep up, strengthening the hips, stretching up. I have 24 brand new hours. Press through that back heel. Press through the back heel. I say that because that is your anchor. Press through your back foot. Turn your hands forward. Bring them to the mat. Take the other leg back, coming into your version of plank. I am strong, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. I am getting stronger. Pull your bellies in, shoulders away from your ears, press through your heels, and breathe. Feel your core engaging, feel yourself getting stronger. And then release your knees, flatten the tops of your feet, take your hips back towards your heels as far as you can. I am grateful for my countless blessings. Leaving your hands where they are, keeping the upper body nice and low. This opens up the upper thoracic area. If you have a tendency to have rounded shoulders, hunched over, closed in the chest, this is the ticket to reversing that hump, those round shoulders, the collapse in the chest. Slide everything out behind you. If you're at a runway, come forward on your mats. Release your forehead. Draw your fingertips back towards the tops of your shoulders, elbows into your side body, and press your forearms down. Widen your feet if you intend to press up into the fuller expression of Cobra. Roll an invisible alley with your nose. Inhale, pressing. Everyone's coming into baby Cobra. Opening our hearts. And then, if you wish, pressing away from the floor, keeping a slight bend in your elbows. Again, you're going to feel this in your hips. So go for the ooh, not the ow. One more breath in. Exhale, lengthen as you lower. Bring your feet back together, curl your toes under. Lifting up, coming into your dog. Knees are bent to start. Belly on thighs, chest towards knees. Align your ears with your inner arms. Press all 10 fingers into the mat. You have space inside your palm for your carpal tendon. Press your heels towards the mat. Feel the stretch in the backs of your legs. I am grateful for the energy from Mother Earth. Lift your right leg up, tip it over to the left. Nice gentle stretch for the hip. Breathe. And then bring the leg behind you. Look at your right hand. Swing that right foot towards the hand. Other leg forward. And let your body just hang. Your spine like a string of pearls. The weight of your head stretching out your cervical vertebra. Bring your arms beside your ears, pull your bellies in, engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Sweep the arms in front, feet apart for balance. Reach up, look up, arc back. Don't go back so far that you're crunching. Feel how expansive you are. And you are. Inhale, your spirit, your energy stretching up. Exhale, forward fold. Let your heads hang. Bend your knees. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, giving thanks. Exhale. Take a sip of water. Please then come down onto your backs on your mats. Take a moment, lying flat on your backs with your palms facing up in the open and receiving position, relaxing your shoulders. Allow your body to absorb the benefits of what you have just done. It's important that we take time in our lives to reflect on our purpose, on our desires, what it is we're hoping to achieve, without blame, without judgment, without guilt, none of that stuff. And when we lie in Shavasana, we allow the gifts and the benefits to be absorbed and utilized. While you're lying there, just taking a moment to be aware of your breathing. Making sure that your bellies, your diaphragm, and your chest are all rising. So the iliopsoas muscle and the piriformis, they actually work together. The iliopsoas, it is our primary hip flexor, and it's our strongest inner hip muscle. Absolutely crucial for walking, stabilizing the lumbar spine and the pelvis. And it attaches to your lumbar spine and then crosses over to the top of the femur, the large leg bone. The piriformis originates deep in the glute. So I spoke to this earlier, in the gluteus medius. And if that muscle's tight from sitting on your butt or just not getting exercise, that's where it can compress the sciatic nerve and create, obviously, great pain. So these are the things we're working on today. Both of these muscles can become shortened by too much sitting. So, I mean, we need to be aware. Yeah, we got to sit, but we need to be aware. Get up and move around every once in a while and not just hang out sitting. Okay, draw your knees up into your chest, one hand on each shin. Just do a little rocking from side to side, maybe even making circles. And then bring your hands underneath the backs of your thighs, rock up and come on over onto your bellies. Take your arms out to the side, shoulder height. Place your forehead on the floor. You're going to lift your left leg up, roll over onto your right hip, and see if you can tap the floor with your big toe. So this clearly is stretching your hip flexors, which, as I said, your iliopsoas muscle is your strongest hip flexor and the strongest hip muscle. They're all kind of deep. You can't really palpate these puppies. And then bring that leg back over and down. Inhale, lift the other leg up. Rolling over onto the opposite hip. Can you just tap the floor with your big toe and just hold it here for a moment? Nice stretch, obviously, for the front of the thigh muscles, your quadriceps, quad being 4. So you've got 4 large muscles in the front of your thighs. bent back over and down. Let's take that first leg up again and over. So you're bending at the knee and you're rolling on to the opposite hip and touching the floor. So you're keeping the knee bent, breathing into that hip and thigh. This is a stretch, not so much a strengthener, it's a stretch. Now, another indicator if we're working too hard is if we're breathing through our mouth. So see if you can do these postures and breathe through your nose rather than your mouth. And releasing. And then one more time on the other side, lifting up, bend the knee, roll over onto the opposite hip, tap the floor. So you're feeling a stretch in the quadriceps, but we are stretching the hip flexors and hence the piriformis muscle. Again, originates on the lumbar spine, so the lower back, and attaches to the top of the femur, called the lesser trochanter. And releasing back over and down. Okay, I'm going to come up on the other side. We're going to do, just so you can see, we're going to start with the left leg. This is where, have your cushions or whatever you have handy, but coming into half frog. So have a look, leg bent. If you need, you may not need anything for here, but you're half frog. Rather than the full frog, this is much easier. So you're bending your left leg out to the side. You can relax your head here. Again, notice this is an internal rotation for your femur in your hip. So a different stretch from what we've just been doing. We're trying to work all of the different stretches, from flexing to abducting to adducting. So this would be abducting. It's an internal stretch. Let me rephrase that. It's adducting. Abducting is your external. So bringing the knee as much as you can, the thigh perpendicular to your torso, half frog. And if you practice this over time, it will release a lot of tension and tightness in that hip joint, so you have more ease in the hip area. And let's release that. You might even bang out the thigh a little bit. And then other side. And again, you may find it easier on one side or the other. You might want to rest your forehead on top of your palms. And if you're finding this really easy, try to square your hips a little more rather than rolling over towards the opposite hip. And notice the difference. Typically, we're not equal on both sides. And of course, if you are loosen your hips, you may do the full frog, which is both knees out at the same time, but I wanted to take it easy, obviously, today. To be gentle, to be patient. But you can feel the stretch in the inner thigh, adductor muscles on the inside of the thigh. And releasing. Come on over onto your backs. Bending your knees for bridge pose. This is key to strengthening as well as releasing some of your glute muscles. So have your heels aligned with your sits bones, your ischial tuberosities. In fact, if you have a block, you may want to put it between your knees. It holds your knees in place. So you'll either put it on the first or second position, so the narrowest or the middle, placing it between your knees. Soles of your feet are flat on the floor. Your arms are beside your body with your palms facing down. Lift your shoulder blades off the floor. Tuck them under your heart. Press the small of your back into the floor. Feel your abdominal muscles engage. Just with your lower back pressed into the floor. Palms are facing down. Tilt your chin towards the center of your chest, and now tilt your tailbone, peel your spine off the mat, lifting up, holding that block. If you do have one between your knees. Bringing extra blood supply here to your glutes, and it's your medius glute that really matters in terms of strengthening and releasing tension, stress. Holding on to your block, lift your right leg up. And if you don't have your block, you may be able to lift your right leg even higher, although there's not a whole lot of benefit to lifting it higher. But this is strengthening the opposite hip, thigh, and release. Other leg comes up. Again, try to breathe in through your nose. Yes, you're exerting. If it's too much for your hip, keep both feet on the floor. Release. Both feet are on the floor. If they weren't already, press up. Exhale, starting from the top of your vertebra, slowly releasing all the way down. Draw your knees up. Have your knees a little bit wider than your torso. Bring your arms inside your legs. Take hold of your insteps. If that's not accessible, maybe your big toes with your peace fingers, or if that's not available, grab your ankles and attempt to come into happy baby. With your ankles directly above your knees outside of your torso, and if you wish, excuse me, rocking from side to side. Pulling down on your insteps, having your ankles over your knees. And that will do. Keep your knees bent. We're going to come into our supine pigeon now. Major posture again for opening up and stretching the hip area. Place your right ankle on top of your left knee. Right ankle on left knee. Press your right knee away from you with your right fingertips. So internally rotating again your femur in your hip joint. And then bring your left knee towards you. Try to take your hands around the back of your thigh. That may be enough if you're not feeling anything in your right hip and your arms are anatomically long enough. You may reach in front of your shin, but it is not necessary. Please don't overdo these stretches. We just put more tension and stress into our bodies, which is what we're trying to release. So find the sweet spot where you get the benefits, the ooh without the ow. Breathe into that right hip. Now, if you have any room to intensify, you may think about raising your low back just a millimeter off the floor, a little bit higher. And if you don't have any more room, just stay where you are and breathe into this powerful hip stretch. Remember, if you can relax the muscles of the area that we're working on, your connective tissue will be able to respond and stretch. If the muscles are stretching and doing all the work, the connective tissue doesn't release. Everything in your body is wrapped tightly in connective tissue. It's both a protector, but it can inhibit movement if we don't address our connective tissue and fascia. So just be aware of this joint, be aware of the area starting to release, to relax, to let go. Or if it's not, we just have to apply some patience for the memory to come back. We all started out very, very flexible. As we aged, maybe injured ourselves, or we're less active. Things tighten up, things stiffen, things dry out. That's why movement is important. Keeping our joints lubricated with synovial fluid. It just takes movement. Yes, we need to be hydrated. Yes, we should have good oils in our diets. Most of you probably know garlic and onion are both blood purifiers, really healthy. And now cross that top leg over the other leg. So one leg tightly over top of the other. Can you reach towards your ankles and gently, and I mean gently, pull towards you? So this is supine Gomukhasana, cow head pose. The more you're able to pull on your ankles, the more you are externally rotating the femur, the long leg bone in the hip joint. And that will do. Take your arms out to the side and just gently lower both knees to the left. Both knees over to the left. stretching out that hip and thigh that we just worked on. Inhale, come back to center. Lower the top leg back down onto the floor, and let's bring the left ankle on top of the right knee. Gently with your left fingertips, press the left knee away from you. And then carefully bringing the right knee towards you, interlock your fingers behind the back of the thigh. If you want a little more stretch in your left hip and thigh, then you bring your hands around to the front of the shin. Please don't do too much. Please find the place where you can hold fairly comfortably and breathe through your nose. Try to relax your shoulders, breathing into your left hip. Being aware of the differences in your hips. So if you do get any body work done from a masseuse, a physiotherapist, or an osteopath or chiropractor, you can help them out by telling them what's going on. So it's okay to exhale through the mouth, but you want to be breathing in as much as possible through the nose. Couple more breaths here. Just noticing if there's some, even little bit of a release. It can take a lot of time. We didn't get stiff hips overnight, so we're not going to have loose hips in a moment. It'll take time. Have faith. And then crossing that top knee over as tightly as you can. And wherever you're able, reaching your hands down towards your ankles or wherever you can manage. And gently pull towards you in supine Gomukhasana. Maybe some gentle rocking on your sacrum. And then take your arms out to the side and gently release both legs. You can lower that bottom foot to the floor if you like, releasing them over to the other side, over to the right side now. Inhaling, come back to the center. And then this is where I just want you to bring the soles of your feet together. If your blocks are handy, we're going to do Baddha Konasana in the supine lying down position. Again, externally adducting, placing your blocks underneath your thighs or your cushions, just so you can just really let go in this position. If you don't have blocks handy, if your feet go a little bit further away from your torso. You might find this easier to relax, but if you can place your blocks or your cushion under your outer thighs, or even using your fists where your thighs and your hips connect. Notice your belly rising on your inhale and falling on your exhale, making your exhalation longer than your inhale, and possibly pausing at the bottom of your exhale to notice the cessation, the stopping of all thinking, the bottom of your exhale. And when you're ready, bring your knees towards one another and extend your legs straight out in front. Heels touch, feet splay out. Lift your shoulder blades up, tuck them under your heart center. Arms beside your body with your palms facing up in the open and receiving position. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Close the eyes. And let your bodies be soft and heavy. Remember that we hold emotions in our hips. This class may be cathartic for you. You may have things come up, triggered today. And just be aware of that. Just notice it. It's a good thing. We all have issues in our tissues. And if we can release them and let them go, we can feel freer to enjoy the gifts of each and every present moment. Obviously, pain is a deterrent to enjoying the day in our lives. Consistency is more important than intensity. That doesn't just go for our yoga practice, pretty much applies to everything. Being consistent. If you can find 10 minutes a day to do a few hip openers, just pick a couple, spend 5 minutes in each one, you'll be the benefactor. And be happy as a hippie. Inhaling the life force, long, full, and deep. And deep, full, exhaling. Long, full, deep, inhaling. And deep, exhaling. Inhale, stretch your arms over behind your heads. Reach and stretch, point feet far, flex and point. And then reach your arms skybound. Wiggle your fingers and your arms. And let them float down beside your body. Apply your little Buddhist smile or your hippie smile. Roll over onto your side. Take your time. When you're ready, using your top arm to press yourself back up into a comfortable seated position. Chanting Om, vibrates our vagus nerve. It activates our parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest, repair, restore, heal, to have a beautiful, centered, calm, grounded day. So if you wish, join me in chanting Om once, inhaling together. Om. Don't forget to smile. It increases your face value. Namaste.